All right, AJ, what is going on? Happy Monday afternoon, and happy Monday to everybody that's calling in, tuning in from around our region, from around the state, around the country, around the globe. Welcome and happy, I guess, happy Monday afternoon.
Happy Monday to you, Pete. Thank you so much for welcoming us into your space today.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're streaming LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and really the goal is for more of this community to learn about the great work at HCEF, Homeless Children's Education Fund. So I'm going to go through a couple of questions on this journey, but it
Yeah.
really starts off with what's this group all about? What's this organization all about? Why was it started?
hmm
And maybe there's a little bonus piece in there of what got you so fired up about it, AJ.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm going to start from the beginning of HCEF. We are a 24-year-old organization founded by Dr. Joseph Lagana, who is an educator, has been an educator all of his life. When Dr. Lagana was running AIU, which is our governing body with K through 12 education here in Southwest Pennsylvania, he discovered just how many students were experiencing homelessness, and it tugged at his heart. He wanted to do something very impactful for those students. So the first thing he set out to do was make sure that they had the resources. The students who have been identified as homeless, make sure they had the resources to support their educational pursuits. So whether that was a book bag or pens, pencils, paper, things that don't actually get carried when they're moving from house to house or bed to bed or place to place. So he started that, and then he started partnering with shelters. And his work with shelters was very much so focused on how can I create a space within a shelter that supports those students' educational needs? So, how can we create learning centers, so libraries filled with books, technology, and what we've done here in the last recent years is actually put educators in those learning centers during certain hours. So tutors are there. So we are continuing to pursue that vision that Dr. Lagana had of supporting those students experiencing homelessness. But we have carried what he's done one or two steps further, Pete. So
Yeah.
we've expanded these programs, understanding that the look of youth homelessness does not necessarily look like what we think it would look like. Children living on the street. That's not necessarily the case. 70% of children who have been identified as homeless are living doubled or tripled up. So they're living with other family, other friends in residences. They're
Mm.
living in extended stay hotels. They're living in inadequate situations, such as in their cars or abandoned buildings and things of that nature. Very small percentage of those people. Okay. So, what we had to do was take our programming and say, how are we mobilizing our programming? So, it's
Yeah.
not just stationary in shelters, it's not just stationary in schools, but it's actually mobilized in the community. And that's what we're doing right now. The question that you asked me first was why am I so passionate about what I do? And I am extremely passionate about what it is that I do. And that passion comes from the fact that I was a child who experienced housing instability. When we moved here to Pittsburgh, we moved here at a spur of the moment. It was a decision my mom made. And instead of going back to my hometown in Niagara Falls, we lived in Massachusetts. And instead of going back to my hometown in Niagara Falls, she decided to come here to Pittsburgh because there was more opportunity. It's a bigger city. There's more opportunity. She just obtained her BA. And so we came to Pittsburgh, spur of the moment. We had to live with relatives. And those relatives, there were multiple families living in that one small house. And I had to stay in one room. I had to, stay with my mother in that one room. I had to endure not everybody wanting a little 8-year-old in the home. And so, why am I so passionate about these students and making sure that these students get exactly what they need in order to thrive. It's because I've been through a measure of housing instability and homelessness, and I know what the feeling is like, not being able to be a child, not, you know, feeling safe and feeling stable, so much so that I can actively learn and sit in a classroom and understand what my teachers are saying. I didn't speak for a very long period of time in school, not because I didn't know the work. I knew the work. I came from the New York school system, but because I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable. This is a new place. These are new people. And it just wasn't stable in my eighth grade mind. It wasn't stable. So it impacted my education.
So, AJ, I'm going to put right below on the screen here a little banner. If people want to learn a little bit more about HCEF, you can go to homelessfund.org,
Yeah.
homelessfund with a D at the end.org. So it's a nonprofit, and
Hmm.
for those of our non-regional listeners based out of the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area,
Yes.
and how many students would you say have been impacted over these, couple of decades? What's
Hmm.
the age range typically where we're seeing this opportunity for improvement and opportunity for help whenever it comes to this housing instability?
Yeah, there has definitely been tens of thousands of students identified as homeless over the last several years, over the last decade. It's generally around that 3 to 4,000 student range in the region of Pittsburgh, in
Mhm.
Allegheny County. In the state, right now, there are 40,000 students who have been identified as homeless. A national statistic that everyone should know is that there is one in every 30 students that you encounter, one of them has experienced homelessness or housing instability. They're
Wow.
constantly mobile, and that has cascading effects on a child's education, on their mental stability, on their emotional stability. So there you have it. Those are the statistics. Every time a child has to change his or her their residence, they're losing about 6 months of learning. Okay. But that's every time the residence changes. In the life of our students, there's a constant change. They're highly mobile students, they're highly mobile families, meaning they're bouncing around a lot. So we could encounter a student that probably has not been to school in years because that's not necessarily the priority for the family or the student. Survival is the priority.
Yeah.
Okay. So that it takes a lot to get that child, that family focused on making sure that child gets the education they need in order not to fall back into the cycle of homelessness.
Now, you talked a little bit about some of the work that's been done over the last couple of decades, how it's progressed, how it's evolved, how it's continued to improve and improve and improve, right?
Hmm.
Some of the educators getting in the systems, that's
Yes.
huge. But
Yes.
maybe we just highlight a couple of those, big wins for the region, right? What's being done,
Hmm.
from the HCEF perspective, and then, we'll give a sneak peek of what's coming on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are doing a lot at HCEF. The first thing that I'm very, very proud of is that we've expanded our staff over the last year and a half that I've been with HCEF. We've brought on more educators than we ever have before. We've expanded our programming model. So right now we have about 8 staff in the program department focused on connecting with these students and ensuring that they get what they need in order to thrive. That programming team is led by our Director of Educational Services. Her name is Caitlin Nyquist. So in this last year of 2023, Caitlin and the program team have managed to reach a little over 600 students directly,
Mhm.
providing support to those students. And that support looks like tutoring wherever those children are, in a shelter, in school, or in the community. That looks like helping them find social services support human services supports. If that child and that family needs food or clothing, or they obviously need to find shelter, we have 2 social workers on our team right now that can help them find whatever their gap is, whatever they're lacking in order to get them focused on that child's education. Our social services team is there to support them. So we're doing a lot. And last year we brought in another model. We believe education and career are tightly linked. I mean, when you think about it from a very rudimentary level, we go through the education process in order to ensure that we are successful from a career standpoint, a job standpoint, that we can pursue jobs that actually help us fuel our family, fund our family, and anything that we want to do. So that's why it's vitally important for students to get their education, not just their high school education, but pursue post secondary education as well. So last year, what we did is we opened our first workforce development program within our teen outreach program, where we took a handful of students and we placed them on a variety of different work sites. And so they got to experience work. They got to experience punching in at a certain time. They got to experience having lunch breaks with them, with other colleagues and coworkers. They got to experience receiving a check every 2 weeks. They got to experience what it means to work in an office or work in a shop or wherever they chose to have that internship experience. They got to fully experience having to get on the bus and going to the job, and again, getting there on time. They got to experience that. And what we found with those handful of students is that because they now understand that education is so directly linked to getting a great job and having a great career, we know that these students are more engaged in school than ever before, because now we connected the dots for them. It's not just going to school to go to school and learning the things that the teacher wants you to learn. It's going to school, getting your education so you can pursue the career that you want to pursue in life. So we grew that program from a couple of students that first summer, which was last year in 2022, to 15 students this summer. And next summer, we'll bring in 30 students, and it'll be not just the summer, but the summer as well as the fall season, that we will be working with these students and giving them an opportunity to explore a variety of different careers. And not only explore those careers, Pete, but they'll also be going through financial literacy classes hosted by Dollar Bank. We did that this summer. We're also going to be partnering with a firm that exposes them to home ownership, right? So
Oh, wow.
we're demystifying all of these big things that students don't necessarily think of, that they're capable of pursuing and getting. We're breaking those barriers. We're breaking those walls. We're bringing people in that look like them, that some of them have been through the same experiences they've been through, but they're saying, this is easy. Let's put the plan together to show you how to overcome what you're going through right now. This is a temporary situation. Your education lasts a lifetime. So let's expose you to these different opportunities so that you can be successful in whatever you do.
What was the quote that Mayor Gainey said the other day? It's
Yeah.
easier to guide children in the right direction and teach children than it is to fix broken men.
Than to fix broken men. He says
Yeah.
that repeatedly. It's easier to guide children and expose them
Mhm.
and allow them to experience things than to go back and try to fix what has already happened, the damage that has already occurred. And so we're trying to be as proactive as possible. So financial literacy and being serious about maintaining your credit and keeping your checking account active. And then once you graduate, Dollar Bank is going to provide you a measure of credit through that checking account. And then we're going to connect you with a firm that's going to show you how easy it is now to own property or own a house. All the while, you're continuing to pursue your education, you're continuing to pursue your knowledge, so that when you do get the job that you desire to have, you know how to successfully manage your money in order to ensure that your children don't have to go through the same thing that you went through.
And AJ, I need to brag about the summer internship program a little bit more, because just was it 2 weeks ago we found
Mhm.
out that one of the interns was still going, right?
Yes,
She's working
yes,
marketing role at
absolutely.
the bank. So
Yeah.
a lot of times there'll be check the box internships.
Mhm.
Not here,
Mhm.
right? This is where
No.
you're getting put to work and you're seeing the results and the impacts, and I think that's where it really makes a huge, huge, huge benefit both to the organization, right? Talk
Mhm.
about giving back, talk about the
Yeah,
pipeline, right? What did you
absolutely.
just say? 3,000 to 4,000 students in this area, in this
Yes.
region, and
Mhm.
more than 10 times that across the state of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely,
Man, that sounds like a
absolutely.
whole lot of talent pipeline right there. And if we can
It's
just guide them in the right directions,
mhm.
geez.
Absolutely. And we're so excited about the employers that just immediately stepped up this year to support. And like you said, we were, surprised when we heard Dollar Bank get on that stage and say they're still utilizing the talents of our interns. The program is over and they're still connected with those interns, leveraging their ideas and their sophistication, what they've put together. And I don't think our intern sites and the supervisors of the intern sites realized, because we didn't realize it, right, that there was going to be a synergy that happens between those people, and they want them to be successful as much as the students want to be successful. These students, when I had a chance to actually talk with them, when I went to, because not only do we do placement and internship locations, but we actually bring them into a classroom setting and they provide career building courses with them. So, resume writing, ethics in the workplace, so on and so forth. I visited the classroom a couple of weeks before graduation from the program, and they could not tell me enough about the experiences they have, how supportive their supervisors are, how wonderful it was to experience this. And we are so happy that they chose to experience this versus just getting a summer job,
Yeah.
because not only are they getting what they need in order to inspire them to continue to learn and grow, but we were paying them $16.50 an hour. There's not a summer job that a child that's a rising junior and a rising senior can get for $16.50 an hour. Is very few jobs. We paid for them their lunch. We gave them a weekly stipend, so they got money for breakfast and lunch to make sure that there were no issues about them being productive during the day. We gave them bus passes to make sure that they could get to their internship sites without hiccup or hesitation. Our staff actually showed them the bus route, got on the buses with them, and we gave them a clothing allowance so they didn't feel like they didn't fit in to the environment of where they were. Our interns were at Dollar Bank, they were at the Pittsburgh Penguins office, they were in the mayor's office, they were at several nonprofits, they were at CCAC, so on and so forth. And we have the top employers of this region now wanting to sign on to this program in order to get our interns exposure into their workplace, exposure into their workforce and work environment, because these are the employees of the future. The employers are getting it. So we have a lot of requests for our students to be interns next summer, and we're super excited about it.
So there's always more that we can be doing,
Yeah.
right? This is Homeless Children's Awareness Month. If we can
Mhm.
touch on that, you're dangling that exciting news on
Yeah.
Wednesday above our head. You're not telling us what it is yet.
I
Come on.
haven't told
but
you.
but with a little bit more support, right? If
Mhm.
that's from organizations, if it's from individuals, what else can HCF accomplish? What else can we do with some more support?
What can we do with more support? I'm going to have to quote Mayor Gainey one more time, and he said this 2 years ago during Homeless Children's Awareness Month kickoff, which was in 2022. It wasn't 2 years ago; it was a year ago. And he said, $5 is an amazing gift, especially when 2,000 people are giving it, right? What he was trying to get people to understand is it doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of dollars to support the program. It can be a small gift. Just give it, because those small gifts multiply. Let me tell you about last year's Homeless Children's Awareness Month. We were able to raise over $100,000 in last year's Homeless Children's Awareness Month. And part of that money went to funding what we're getting ready to unveil to the community on November the 1st, which is this Wednesday. So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. So this Wednesday, we are super excited that we are going to be unveiling and dedicating to our community the only mobile classroom, a classroom on wheels, a mobilized unit for children experiencing homelessness, right? So I told you 70% of our students are living in the community. They could be living right next door to us. We don't know, right? But with this unit, we're going to be able to go wherever they are, okay, in this unit. They're going to be able to come into this unit and experience the latest technology. It's totally outfitted with the latest technology, all the high level educational tools, the support of an educator and a volunteer coming into a classroom. This unit was designed by Children's Museum of Pittsburgh, as well as my program team, in order for children, when they walk into this unit, to feel instantly comfortable and motivated to do what it is they need to do to accomplish what it is they need to accomplish. If this isn't an environment where children can just be creative and explore, I don't know what other environment that child needs, because as soon as you walk in there, it's colorful, it's dynamic, it has every tool and resource a child needs in order to accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish educationally. Again, outfitted with the latest tech. This is the only mobile unit in Southwest Pennsylvania, I dare say the state and the country, dedicated to students experiencing homelessness. What the mobile unit is not going to be is a substitute for a classroom. We do not want anyone to believe that this unit is a substitute for a classroom. A child being in the classroom is the number one priority. But what we do through the mobile learning program is inspire children to want to be in the classroom. We help them reduce the absenteeism, because now they're learning. They know they can learn. They're inspired to learn, and we bridge them back into the classroom setting. We get caregivers settled and the resources and support they need in order to stabilize their situation, and the child moving back into the classroom. And we help the school be able now to support the needs of that student, right? Because we see ourselves as a bridge builder between the school and the family. If the school is asking for something, we help the caregivers get to what the school needs. If the caregivers are needing something and feel like they can't articulate it well to the school, we help with that communication as well. We're bridge builders, but the number one, the most important thing is for that student to be in school. So this is not a substitute for school. This is an inspiration. It's the inspiration some students will need in order to bridge back into school.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the organization is excited about it, and I hear more and more from around the community
Yeah.
about the positive impact. And holy smokes, congratulations on a
Thank you.
remarkable staff and board that has been put together. And also, I got to give you a shout out, everybody. I saw AJ present at a local conference recently, and she kicked off day number 2 in style. And I don't know if you could see it from up on the stage, but there were people taking pictures of the different tips you were putting up
Oh, good.
throughout the session. and
Yeah.
then know that a few were talking about it even after you left the
Mhm.
stage. So you made an impact
Thank you.
to children's lives, right, at the day job, but then continuing to ignite that passion and show what's possible and kind of rounding it out.
Thank you.
AJ, we only have a couple more minutes here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say there's a couple dozen folks that are watching at this current time. A
Yeah.
few others have popped in and out. If anybody has a question, go ahead and pop it into the comments over here. Let's see. It looks like Jack said, "Hey, let's go ahead and connect." So, AJ, if some folks from different parts of the country want to
Mhm.
learn more, want to get involved, want to help
Mhm.
out, what's the best way to get in touch with you and the team?
Absolutely. So you can get in touch with us at homelessfund.org. That's homelessfund.org. You can personally get into contact with me at A Jefferson. I almost forgot my name. A Jefferson at homelessfund.org, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's AJ Jefferson on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that was in the details on the LinkedIn Live invite. You'll see AJ's
Mm,
contact information
yeah.
on the post. We'll do a follow up of this afterwards. There's the link. And tell us what's going on with this. You can, right? What's
Yes.
October's almost over, huh?
October is almost over, and traditionally, October is always committed to being Homeless Children's Awareness Month in the city of Pittsburgh and in the region. So, in the
Mhm.
county of Allegheny County, excuse me. And so, we had that declared at the very beginning of October, every October, and all month long, me and my team go out in the community talking about what it means to be homeless, what does homelessness look like, and
Mhm.
what you can do to support these students. There shouldn't be one child identified as homeless in any place, let alone our county and our city. But there are. One in every 30 students is homeless throughout the United States. There are 40,000 in our state, there are 3,100 in our county. So we have to do anything and everything that we can in order to support these students. And they are not necessarily you're not going to see these students on the street. You're going to see these students in shelters or living doubled and tripled up or in extended stay hotels. That's where you're going to see these students. We have wonderful relationships with schools so we can connect with these students each and every single day. But if you have a child that you suspect may be experiencing housing instability, go on our website at homelessfund.org and let us know. You can give us a referral to a student or a referral to a caregiver that we can contact in order to support that student. And I want to say, you're not telling on anyone, you're not, doing anything negative or punitive when you let us know that this child may be struggling with housing instability. What you're doing is you're bringing an organization to that family that can help them navigate the system. And that's what we're here for. But all month long is Homeless Children's Awareness Month, and we have a goal to raise volunteers and to raise money in support of our work with these students. So please consider giving a gift or please consider volunteering. Both can be done by going on to homelessfund.org.
I'll pull it up for us one more time there. Let's see. I think we got another comment. Laura, thanks for tuning in. We'll have to connect you over to her, AJ. Pretty
Mhm.
remarkable. And there is also a mobile presence
Okay.
with what Laura's doing over at AHN and the Chill Project. I know
Yes.
a couple of folks tuned in from Urban Tech, some from Junior Achievement, some from
Wonderful.
Breakthrough Pittsburgh. So there's lots of different advocates here. Let's see. I think we can pull up Emily's comment here. So I know
Hi, Emily.
we'll see her
She's
next week
amazing.
at the GPNP Summit.
Yes.
Quick shout out the 9th and 10th of November. I don't know if it's somewhere between a couple hundred or a couple thousand nonprofits are getting together at the Pittsburgh
We're all
Convention.
getting together that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're all. I'm going to have the privilege and the honor of serving on a panel discussing workforce on November the 10th. And so thank you so much, Emily and Olivia Benson, for giving me that invitation
Mhm.
to speak. There are going to be a lot of experts where workforce is concerned on that panel that GPNP is hosting.
Hey, we got a question here from Kristen. I think for us to shed a little bit more light on this, and this will probably be the last one that'll come through. But AJ, if you
Yeah,
could highlight on this, and then maybe wrap it up with a cool success story. Let's end with
absolutely.
a bang, right? So we'll answer this one
Absolutely.
first.
Absolutely. So thank you, Kristen. We work with children pre-K all the way to 24 years of age. So when a child graduates high school and they're involved in our program, we still support that child post-secondary through their post-secondary pursuits, whether that is college or career training program or career. We still support that student up to age 24. But I dare say, with the team that I have and the love of children that they have and the desire to see these children win, there's no real cap. We say pre K to 24, but there's no real cap. If a child who's been through our program still needs our support, we're going to support that child. I often say with my team, the answer is never no. It's how do we get to yes? It's never no. How do we get to a yes? So let me end with this story, Pete, if you don't mind. Is
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to go to a shelter last week and sit down and really just experience our program in the way that our students experience our programs, working with them side by side, getting to know them. And there was this phenomenal young lady who read me a book that Stacey Abrams wrote about how she became so enamored with reading books. It's a children's book, but there were multiple words in that book that were multi-syllable words. Once the young lady was done and we played a game and mom came and picked her up, I sat and talked with the staff, and what they shared with me is last summer, that young lady barely could read. Okay. She was reading at a grade level much lower than where she is right now. She's currently reading above grade level, but she was reading several grades below where she is right now. And because of the dedication of that tutoring team, working with her every single day, she is now reading multi-syllable words. She understands these words and she was reading them seamlessly to me, better than I could have read it to her. Okay. And I was just amazed. And that is what being focused and getting the student focused on education can do. So not only does she read multi-syllable words, this young lady is now picking up the violin. She's learning the violin. She's figuring out what she's going to do next year. She pulled out her organizer and she was showing me all of the different things that she needs to get involved with because now she has to have this planner and she has to be involved with all of these things. This started this summer with getting her the ability to be able to read and showing her that she is amazing and the gifts and talents she has within her are going to come out as long as she stays committed to the process. And her and mom stayed committed to the process, and she's phenomenal. And I dare say she probably will be the next president because she's an amazing young lady. At least she's going to be the mayor or the county exec or something like that. So she's an amazing young woman.
So I'll put the banner up there one more time so that folks can get involved. I know we went a few minutes over the top of the hour. AJ, thanks so much for opening up our eyes to what's being done, what's possible, and I'm sure there's going to be some follow up. After this, hey, how do we, is there a newsletter to sign up for? How do
Mhm.
we stay aware of what's going on? How do we stay abreast of the volunteer opportunities if there's new projects? Is that continue to go to homelessfund.org
Yes.
for
All
more
of those things
information?
can be
Yep.
answered as soon as you go onto that website. It has all of the different areas in which you can stay connected to our organization.
There we go. I think last one came in here. There we go. Thank you so much. AJ, thanks so much.
Thank
See you
you.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.